Hey there. So this is the quick and easy way to create character illustrations in GRAVIT. If you started and you made heads like this, that's great. But I'll even make it even super simpler for you with just an ellipse. And let's pick a skin color somewhere between orange, red, and you get these like peachy things or like dark skins further down. So anyways, the skin color, the size of a head, okay, great. And I'm just going to cut the bottom off with the knife tool right here. So we click the knife tool, and then you have to have this blue box around your shape that you're cutting. You just click and drag across your shape, and you see that blue line means it's cut, but you can't really get to it unless you click away and get the selection tool. So you just click away, and then you can go back and select either part. So I'm just gonna pop that down. Now I have a jaw and a mouth already, and I can add hair. You just add whatever shape you want for hair. If you want a circle, that's great. Boom, my hair. So let's move on and make eyes. Eyes might be a little bit more difficult. I mean, of course you can do like simple eyes like this, but that looks like we should do better. So to make like a pointed oval, like an eyeball shape, I'm just gonna move this guy over here for a second and change it to a path. So if you convert it to a path, there's this button right here. If you convert it to a path, then you can like edit the anchor points and all the points around it a little bit, a lot more. So you just hit convert to path. It might change over here in the layers palette, but you really can move around the anchor points with the sub selector tool. So you have to switch back to this other selection tool, sub select. So with that other sub selection tool clicked, you can now move around these points and change the joints. So I'm just like trying to make that pointed oval shape of an eye. So I'm just going to change this shape or that anchor point right there to a straight joint, and this one to a straight joint. And you can like move them around and kind of make like a eyeball shape. And then you can just make it a lighter color, right? And now you can go with an ellipse and maybe put in like a pupil. So really, like, this is the magic button, that convert to path shape. Once you convert it to a path and then use that sub selector tool, then you can like really manipulate the shapes to do pretty much anything you want. So that's my eyeball shape, my super simple eyeball shape. I'm just gonna move it over, and it's both those shapes are selected. I'm just gonna hold down Option and drag to duplicate it. Now I have two eyes, and let's add a nose. So let's just add a nose with a line. So a line tool, you just like pull out a line. If you hold down Shift, it'll make sure it's like completely straight. You can even change the width of it here. It's just the border, so I'll put 2, maybe a little bit thicker. And then I'm going to, it's already a path, so I'm just going to use the sub selector tool again. And if you hover over the line, let me zoom in. If you hover over it, is a sub selector tool. You hover over it, then that little icon pops up, and you can just click and add an extra anchor point. And then you can move that anchor point around and make a pointed nose. Or if you wanted a curved nose, you like select that anchor point, make sure that anchor point's blue, and then click one of these other joints. Right now it's a straight joint, so if you change it to a mirrored, then it's a curve, and you can move around these little handles and make like a nose shape just with a simple line. So once you get a nose shape that you like, or a nose line that you like, use the pointer tool to move it into place. So you switch back to the pointer tool. That's V on the keyboard. So you just hit V and resize it, position it. That's it. There you go. This guy kind of needs a neck. So I'm going to use a rectangle. Rectangle and sample the color. Great, I have a neck. All right, so next I'm gonna make a body, and we're gonna make a body out of a rectangle. So we just drag out a rectangle. You make it whatever shirt color you want. Let's make it a red shirt. And to give it a little bit of like curved corners, it's in the appearance panel. You can curve all the corners with this slider, and that looks fine, really. If you want to curve individual corners, you just go into here, advanced options, then unclick uniform corners. And then with the sub-selector tool, if you go and click that sub-selector tool after you uncheck that box of uniform corners, then you get these orange handles and you can manipulate each corner individually. So I'm just going to keep those kind of rounded for the shoulders and keep these kind of straight. That's that. Next, let's make an arm, and then we'll just duplicate it. So same thing, I'm just going to pull out a rectangle. I might just round all the corners. That's fine. And then we'll do a hand. Same thing. We're just going to pull out almost the size of a hand, and I'm going to sample the color from the other skin part and round the corners. Yay. And then let's make a thumb real quick. I'm just going to hold down Option to duplicate that shape and make it a little bit smaller. Put it on top. If you want to actually see the thumb a little bit more, you could just get into that color. See, it's already the skin color, and just drag it down, drag it up, just give it a little bit of contrast. And that's basically it. I'm going to select both of those, move them into place, and now I have my arm. And I can kind of rotate it, position it, and good. That looks okay. So then you need one for the other side. So just copy it. So select all those shapes, the arm, the thumb, the hand, Control C, Command V to paste it. And that's it. You can also flip it right over here. There's a flip horizontal. Or if you wanted to flip it vertical, you can wave high. Yay, that's great. Okay, so I'm running out of room, so I'm just going to select everything and make it a little bit smaller. All right, now let's make some pants. So basically just a rectangle. Just gonna pull out a rectangle, color blue. Where's blue? All right, so those are my pants, but I want 2 legs, so I'm going to cut a piece out of the middle, so the space between the legs, with another rectangle. I'm just going to drag out like another rectangle, like right in the spot between legs, and the idea is that cut out part of that blue shape. So I'm just going to position my first rectangle on top of my last bottom rectangle, this one. So they're like right on top of each other. Anyways, you go and select both of them. And then there's this magic button within compound shapes. Compound shapes are up here. If you just hit compound shapes, it's going to combine them with union. But if you hit the little caret and then hit subtract, the top shape cuts away from the bottom shape. And then you have pants. Of course, if you wanted to, you could always convert it to a path and then move around anchor points with the sub-select tool, or add anchor points with the sub-select tool. So just like add 3 anchor points and pull one up. Make it curve. Now I have a kneecap. 1, 2, 3. Pull the middle one up. Now I have a kneecap. It's great. Or you could, change the bottom, make like a tapered leg. So really the options become endless and unlimited once you realize that you can, once you get a shape selected, convert it to a path, and then use that sub-selector tool to move around anchor points. So let's keep going, just make some shoes quick with a square rectangle shape. I'm just going to let's color it like a brown color. Great. A brown shoe. And shoes are really easy if you just bend the corners of a rectangle. So again, in appearance over here where corners are, advanced settings, and then uncheck uniform corners. And then you use that sub-selector tool. Here it's keyboard shortcuts D, and now you can manipulate each one of those corners and make different curves. So make like the top of your shoe where your laces would be like a really steep curve or long curve, and the other ones like where the toe would be just a little curve. And yeah, that's basically it. That is my shoe. If you wanted to, you could cut away like a top for the ankle. You just use a circle right on top of it, and then select both of them, and then it's that subtract again because I'm cutting away. I have that little cut. Okay, so that's my shoe. I'm going to duplicate it, Command C, Command V, and move it over. I might also flip it. There we go. That's it. So once you have like one body, you can really select the whole thing and duplicate it for your other one. Command C, Command V. Got that guy. I can go ahead and like delete this guy's head, right? And whoops, move this body over here. There we are. And then, of course, this looks really awkward because his skin is his hands are different colors. So what you can do is to swap the colors of multiple shapes, just hold down Shift where you go around and click to select shapes. So I'm going to click to select this guy's hand, and then hold down Shift while I'm clicking his thumb, his other hand, and his other thumb. And now I can change the colors uniformly or sample the color to get it to the same skin color, right? And again, like his thumb, I might change that color a little bit. Great. And so if you're making like unique characters like you need to for this assignment, select different parts and make them different colors. You know, I can make the red shirt blue. I can make these pants yellow. I can make the shoes different colors. I can swap the shoes around. So they're both facing the same direction. Right? I might make this guy's hands and whole body a little bit bigger. Let's see if I can do that. Select both of those guys. Again, like once you have an arm you like, you can just select it, Command C, Command V, and now I have another one right on top that I can just drag over. And we'll go and delete the old one and move the new one into place. And rotate it. There we go. Now he's dancing. Select both of those. Whoops. With that. And rotate it. All right. You know, you can always add extra features, like if you want a belt, really simple, just a rectangle, fill it black. It does this thing where the order is not right in the layers palette. You can always like drag and drop in the layers palette, or you can also use these buttons up here, bring forward, bring backward. So with that shape selected, I'm just clicking bring forward a bunch, and it brought that shape forward.